Are you looking to get more out of ChatGPT and you want to become that power user in your organization, or you want to build up your skills? Then this is the video for you. So what we're going to look at doing is going through ChatGPT, the consumer interface, and what it can do. And then what we're going to look at doing is going into the platform, which is the space where you can start fine-tuning and start creating custom GPTs to serve you and your needs. And then we're going to look at finally the enterprise version through Azure AI. And this is really going to be where you're going to get the safe, secure enterprise environment to deliver your large language models and AI solutions. So if you enjoy this video, like, subscribe, let's get going. Okay, so as promised, we're going to start off with ChatGPT, the consumer interface, and the easiest way to get to it is chatgpt.com. If you've already signed up, then you can get going with the sign up button, but we've already got a login, so let's just click on login. So once you've logged in, we're going to be presented with an interface like this, and this is just a bit of information, and it remembers what you've typed, so that's pretty cool. All right, so ChatGPT interface, relatively simple. On the left hand side over here is all of your GPTs you've created and any previous queries that you've made. All right, you can hide the panel over there to make it a little bit cleaner. If you wanted to create a new chat, you click on new chat. And over here, you can choose which model you want to use. So ChatGPT Plus, really for creating images. It's a lot larger context window. It's got a lot more power behind the scenes to generate content. But for our purposes, we're just going to use the straight out of the box ChatGPT. And it's a great starting point to give you what you need. You really only want to go for the ChatGPT Plus if you're finding that the ChatGPT standard version isn't working for you, not giving you that level of detail that you're looking for. All right, so what we're going to do today is just a quick brief overview of what ChatGPT can do. All right, so you can connect up to Google Drive, you can connect up to your OneDrive, and you can upload images or PDF documents from your computer. Full disclaimer, this is a consumer edition. It's not safe, it's not secure as an enterprise would be. So check with your company policy to make sure that you're actually able to use ChatGPT. But what we're going to do today is just a couple of scenarios. All right, so what we're going to do is just do some prompting over here. So prompt engineering is a thing that you need to look at mastering within ChatGPT to get the most out of it. If you're not sure how to do prompting, check out one of my other videos. Links will be in the description below. But for this scenario over here, we're going to basically be a product manager to create a project plan to implement AI for business leaders. Include all relevant steps, timelines, and appropriate milestones. All right, so we can now pop that in and hit the up arrow. And what it's going to basically do is create a project plan for you on what you need to be doing and the types of activities that are needed. All right, as you can see, making short work of exactly what needs to be done. This is a useful starting point and it'll get you up and running. All right, so what we can do now is we can expand on that. So we can say, create this plan in a tabular format with approximate costs and roles to execute the plan. All right. So what we're doing now is we're chatting with the output, and it's now going to ultimately give you a output that's going to look something similar to this. So a really, really powerful summary of what it would look like and a great starting point for you and your business to get going. ChatGPT is able to do a lot more than just this. Like I said, it can do summarization of your PowerPoints, it can do summarization of your PDF documents and any documentation that you have. All right, what we've got over here is some GPTs that I've built that were built in the Power Platform. Mini apps that you can create. They're called GPTs, and if you wanted to go and explore some GPTs that have been pre-built by some organizations, you can click on explore GPTs and you can go in and look at what's created for you over here. So there's logo creators, there's video GPTs, there's humanizers, there's Image Pro, Python, and a huge range of awesome GPTs that have been pre-built for you, so you don't have to think about building them yourself. So that's ChatGPT in a very high level. If you want more information on that, check one of my other videos. But this is really where the power of ChatGPT comes in. Let's move on to the playground. All right, so the easiest way to access the playground is to go to platform.openai.com. All right, and you're going to be presented with an interface that looks very similar to this. As you'll notice, there's a lot more functionality and features that you can now start playing with. All right, so ChatGPT, basic interface. And if you go to the playground, you can now start seeing that you can add functions. You can call different things from different systems. You can set the temperature, which is allowing you to modify the creativity and the outputs that it creates. The maximum number of tokens, so how much output do you want? So we can set 4,000 tokens. And then you can play around with these settings over here. All right. This is also important to note. The API and Playground requests will not be used to train our models. So that's where the differentiation starts coming in. So ChatGPT, consumer grade, can be used to train models, and anything you upload may be used to train their models. All right. The Playground is more enterprise version. It's got a lot more security around it and privacy around it, so it won't be used to do that. All right, first things first, what we want to do is just make sure that if you go to usage, you may need to load up some spend into it. So you've basically got a billing that you can complete. And what that ultimately enables you to do is experiment in a safe environment with information. And you're going to pay per use, but I think the flexibility is great. So what I'd recommend you do is go and test it out in your ChatGPT interface, and then ultimately move over to the playground to start fine-tuning it. All right, so what we can do over here is we're going to start looking at the different type of models. So you've got different models that you can choose. So you've got the ChatGPT 4, you've got the Mini, you've got the Turbo, you've got the 3.5 Turbo. I'll just keep it on the 3.5 Turbo for now. And this is where the assistants come in. All right, so you can, the chat, very similar to the normal chat interface. So if we just pop in the same query, it's basically going to provide an output like this. So as you can see, slightly different, and it's got a little bit of hashing. And again, this is more the environment just to get you going. All right. What we want to look at now is the assistants. So this is a place where you can start creating your own custom GPTs. My custom GPT. All right, so the instructions. So this is now where you can pre-prompt it to create activities and to predefine outputs that you would like for your output. So we can always say always include likely costs. All right, so we've now pre-prompted it over here, so you don't have to type this into your message, right? If you wanted to ground it on some files that you've got saved up on how you've run your projects before or how you've done your data development, you can basically do a file search and you can start adding in files. So you just easily drag them in there and it will automatically pull that into your output. All right, if you want a code interpreter, you can enable those, and if you wanted more advanced functionality, you can start looking at these over here. But let's just hit, so let's basically pop this message in here. So create a plan to launch AI for business, and what we can do now is hit run. Okay, so what it's going to be doing is it's going to be taking what we've popped in as the instructions, and it's now going to start, as you can see, the prompt we put in was a lot shorter, and it's now ultimately taken that information and it started creating a output for us. So a really great way for you to fine tune what the pre-prompt is always going to be. You're going to get some standardization in your outputs, and it's ultimately going to give you a bit more consistency in what you're doing. So that's a really great feature around the playground and around what you can do with the more advanced version of the ChatGPT environment. I won't go through too much detail on that, but there's videos down below that'll show you how to create your own custom GPTs for different purposes. And now the next one we're going to do is the Azure AI Studio. So really easy, go ai.azure.com, look at the options that are available to us in the AI Studio. As you can see, there's a large number of models that are available to us. It's not just ChatGPT, and you can browse the catalog over here. So you've got the PHI 3, you've got the GPT-4, and host of other types of large language models that might be better suited for your needs. All right, so ChatGPT is not perhaps the best at transcribing, so you can go find something around transcribing. And there's ultimately a whole bunch of open source models that can now start being used to make your output even more deliberate and consistent for your purposes. All right, so let's have a look at what Azure AI Studio looks like, and here we go. What we can do now is just have a quick overview of what the playground does and what it looks like. All right, so on the left hand side is your menu. On the top right over here is which area we're in. So we're in the build space, and ultimately some more options at the top over here. So deploying apps, prompt flow, view code, exporting it and get some prompt samples. You can also select the type of AI bot that you would like to create, or AI application you'd like to create. Over here you can choose your deployed models, and ultimately any parameters that you want to change over here. Yeah, so really simple interface over here. On the configuration names, this is basically where we're going to type in our chatbot's name. So let's just call it my chatbot assistant. Well, let's just go my assistant. That's probably a bit easier. All right, so you're an AI assistant that helps people find information. So that's the default name over here, and we can start chatting. All right, so let's just say hello. And what it should do now is return a response from the chatbot. All right, so that's great. So we can just say here, what is AI in one sentence? Right, so there's the chatbot working for us. The next step is really about deploying it to a web app so people can actually use it and consume. All right, and as you can see, here is our web app. All right, so chatbot that is now using the 3.5 model, authentication enabled for our for this particular user that's logged on here. You can ultimately start adding other users. Hello, who are you? Hi, I'm Ty, the AI guy. All right, so again, now what we can do is obviously start looking at fine-tuning this a bit more, making sure that it's ready.